Ms. Sarah, good morning. Everyone, today we are dissecting one of the most transformative instruments in the history of science. When we discuss the telescope, many students immediately jump to the conclusion that its main idea is simply to study space, or perhaps to see stars in higher resolution. While those are certainly its applications, from a purely technical and foundational perspective, the instrument's primary, essential function is to make distant objects look bigger. By utilizing the refraction of light through curved lenses, it magnifies the angular size of remote bodies, bringing them into a visible scale that the human eye can process. Without this basic optical principle of magnification, our ability to measure distance, or study the cosmos, would be non-existent. Now, let's navigate the murky waters of its origin. As the timeline is frequently misremembered, you might see the year 1800, or even the early 20th century like 1906, cited in some modern industrial texts, but we must look back much further. While Dutch spectacle makers were experimenting with early designs in the very early 17th century, the pivotal moment for science occurred in 1608. This was the year the first patent was sought, and it marked the true birth of the device as a recognized tool. Of course, we cannot mention the year 1608, or the subsequent improvements in 1609, without discussing the intellectual giant behind its most famous early iteration. While many associate the laws of gravity with Newton, or planetary motion with Kepler, and the theory of relativity with Einstein, none of these men were responsible for the first astronomical use of this tool. It was Galileo who took that 1608 concept and turned it toward the heavens. It is also vital to correct a common misconception regarding his origins. Given the widespread influence of the Renaissance across Europe, students often guess that he might have been Spanish, French, or even German, perhaps confusing him with other northern astronomers. However, Galileo was a product of the Pisan and Florentine academic worlds. He was, fundamentally and proudly, Italian. His heritage is deeply rooted in the Italian peninsula, where his observations eventually challenged the very foundations of the geocentric model. So, as you prepare for your finals, remember 1608, magnification, and the Italian brilliance of Galileo.